Hey everyone, it's me, Ken Sparkle, or the Sparkle Girl, whatever. So today, now you are not going to expect this, but I am going well, I'll just say I'm going to review on some of the characters that I personally ship together, and some of them are officially together, but some of them are not really together, but or only as friends I could possibly that I do seem to just ship them for a reason. Let's just say I sometimes can ship some of the characters who are already together with some of the other characters, but I also ship them with the other character, if you know what I mean. So let's just say I don't want to cause any, whatever you guys think, whatever, but I just wanted to get my point straight, and let's just say it's my first time doing it, so I'm not too sure if I'm correctly. I think I did something like this before. I don't know. Probably, maybe once, but it doesn't matter. But I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy this one. So anyway, so I am going to start with Ariel and Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid. So the thing is, I've always have been a huge fan of The Little Mermaid ever since I was only a little girl. So let's just say you can't possibly blame me for being a fan, so why not ship Ariel and Prince Eric? And besides, they're my favorite couples of The Little Mermaid, so can't possibly blame me for that. Well, even though it is part of the story. And, and there are some good few moments between Ariel and Eric, like in the Kiss the Girl song, in the lagoon scene. Well, let's just say, I love that scene. It's just so romantic sort of way, and it is sort of magical as well. And of course, it is under the sea sort of thing. Yeah, tell me about it. And besides, I always have been a huge fan of the Little Mermaid, so I just, let's just say, there's loads of reasons to talk about Ariel and Eric of why I like them so much. So yeah, so I just rather keep my thoughts about them like some of the time because I don't want to you know focus on them all the time. So let's just skip to the next ones. Okay, so I may not be a huge fan of either Mario or Sonic or anything, but I do personally ship both Mario and Princess Peach from Mario and Amy Rose and Sonic from Sonic. Well, like I said, I'm not really a huge fan of those medias, including either video games or something like that or such. But I just hope you can understand that I'm not really much of a video gamer or anything because that's not my thing, since I'm more an artist sort of person. You know what I mean? Because I'm more creative than playing games like most other people do. So yeah. So anyway, it's kind of hard to explain why I like Mario and Peach together and same thing for Sonic and Amy Rose. Well, let's just say Princess Peach is a princess, of course, but some people may say that she may not have sort of romantic feelings for Mario, but she does seem to have sort of friendly attraction for Mario. Because they are friends, of course, aren't they? So yeah, that's just the whole thing, isn't it? And besides, always start becoming friends first before you could possibly go into a relationship. Relationship. Sorry, my words. And probably same thing for Sonic and Amy Rose. And I know some of you only refer to her as Amy, but I prefer her as Amy Rose because that's her actual name in the whole media. So, and yes, let's to Stitch and Angel. Yeah, Stitch and Angel. I love Stitch and Angel. Believe me, I just love Lilo and Stitch medias and that, the actual film and the other movies, and especially the TV shows, like the original TV show of Lilo and Stitch and another one, Stitch anime. I love that one so much. Well, the original one, of course. The anime is alright to be fair, but I would say the original TV show of Lilo and Stitch is my favourite, with Lilo in it. Yeah. And speaking about Lilo, I kinda also ship Lilo with this boy called Keone. Well, I know some people may say that Keone is maybe too old for Lilo, but I don't care. Besides, they are friends, so don't know what the big deal is, so if they're friends, they are friends. And they may have a little crush on each other, maybe. And besides, Lilo just got feelings for Keone anyway. Yeah. Okay, I also seem to like whew, Twilight Sparkle with Flash Century from the Crushia Girls. Well, you probably might agree with me that 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 their chemistry is not really much really because they never get to become an actual thing, if you know what I mean. Because there are some few complaints about it though. I can't possibly blame them for complaining because, and besides, I don't actually agree with them because I do kind of wish Twilight and Flash Century could be a thing in the Crushia Girls, although I have to admit I would say it may be a little bit wrong because the Flash Century that Twilight has a thing with is from the human world, if you know what I mean. But that doesn't really that matter sometimes, but it kind of does from time to time if you get, what I'm trying to say here, because I got this sort of mixed feelings sometimes, and I can't get my head straight about this sort of situation, like whether I should, like Twilight and Flash Century to be together or not. So yeah. Oh, and I also shipped Twilight Sparkle. Well, not the one that we all look like and love and that, but the other Twilight Sparkle, Side Twilight that we all usually refer her as. And like I say, I kind of like her and to be with Timus Bruce rather than Flash Century, since we all know that the pony Twilight Sparkle used to have the sort of feelings for the human Flash Century, if you know what I mean. So yeah, and besides, I kind of like sci-fi and Timus Bruce sort of crush thing in the Legend of Edda 3. So yeah, I love that film, especially their moments in the film as well. Okay, and I also like sci-fi with Sunset Shimmer, although I may not be, a fan of gay couples in the cartoons, but I kind of, well, I do support them, don't get me wrong. So please don't get, whatever, because I don't want you guys make as a jump to conclusion by thinking I am being, the word, because that's not my type of thing. I always respect to everyone who just likes to be whoever they are. Besides, it's really important to be yourself, so let's just respect that, okay? Let's respect all the people who has feelings for the same gender. Yeah, something like that. Or their body sexuality, something like that. So that's got nothing to do with this whole ship thing. Okay. So, and I also like Aladdin and Jasmine from Aladdin. I like their relationship, although they only just met, so that's the whole thing. And besides, I remember something from Frozen when Elsa said, I mean, seriously, sometimes Elsa may have a good point, but sometimes it's not like it's a big deal or anything from time to time. Because if I remember correctly, back in the old century, if you think about with Snow White, because she is 14 in the film, so because I believe some people seem to say that get well, the young people at the age of either 14 or 16 can get married to the older, whoever, which gender, who, but, well, well, the thing is, don't get too confused, guys, because it is true. So don't blame me for mentioning that, but it's true because I've learned this from high school. Because I remember me and my best friend Sophie and some other students from our class and some other students from different classes. We all learned every day about things, like what's going on in their reality, especially from the past, the olden days history, including with the royalties and all. Okay, and I also seem to like Princess Aurora with Prince Philippe on Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, I kind of like this sort of thing for one another. Although they only just met, during the song Once Upon a Dream. Oh, let's just say, let's get to the point. Because if I remember correctly, they both didn't know each other at first because if you think about from the beginning that Princess Aurora is betrothed to be married to Prince Philippe. But as they grow up, they both didn't know each other's identity, during this whole scene with Once Upon a Dream. Because in the end, Prince Philippe and Aurora later finds out who they really are. So let's just say, it's a good thing to know your true selves because if you guys remember that Aurora wasn't happy that she has to marry to someone that she barely knows. Well, that's the whole thing. And yeah, I kind of feel sad for Aurora because she thought that she's not gonna see the man that she loves anymore now. So you gotta feel sorry for her. I mean, even though it's not her fault or Prince Philippe's fault or anything. And besides, Aurora's family, and including the fairies, have all lied to Aurora for a long time until they told her the truth on her 16th birthday. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so, and they also shipped Cinderella and the prince. Yeah, something like that. And I also wanted to mention, but I don't think you guys will expect this, but I do kind of ship Fizz and Milo from the Tweenies. Although some of you may either agree or disagree, I don't care, but let's just say I kind of ship them. Like, there's a few reasons to be honest. Like, they are friends, don't get me wrong, but I know some people will probably be like, why do you ship them? They're just friends, or they just either don't like each other very much, but, I don't know what's the whole big point. So that's just what I'm saying here. And yes, I just want to say, I want to say this, but I personally ship Fizz and Milo as long as it takes, only as friends. But not in a relationship sort of way, because that would be wrong, no would it? Nuh-uh. So, like I said, I only ship Milo and Fizz as friends, not girlfriend or boyfriend. No. Because that would be disgusting, now would it? Ugh. Okay, move on. And yeah, well, let's just say, whew, that's the same thing for Angelina and Marco from the new series of Angelina Ballerina. But some, including me, can sometimes like Angelina with you know who, William in the original series. Yeah, something like that. And I also see the ship Simba and Nala, but I mostly prefer Kiara and Kobu, sort of thing. And I also ship Bobby and Ken. Oh, I just have to love them. I mean, you got to love them because Bobby and Ken have always been a thing ever since then. Although, I did search this on Google saying that they both kind of broke up and I don't know how long they were broken up, but I believe they are back together again. Thank God for that. I'm sorry for mentioning it, but it is kind of true, so sorry for mentioning it, so yeah. So don't get to the wrong stick, okay guys? So yeah. Oh, and I also kind of share Tiana and Naveen from Princess and the Frog. I kind of like their relationship during when they were frogs at the time. Well, they are okay when they were humans together, but I would say as frogs because it is kind of funny because I remember when they both kind of worked together, just stopping those three men from, you know, kidnapping them, sort of that, yeah. Don't get me wrong, but I just find it hilarious about the way Naveen goes like, oh, oh, and shaking his eyebrows, something like that. No, give me a break, dude. Okay, move on. And I also want to mention that I don't know if anyone else might have heard of the show called Alice Wonderland Bakery, but I kindly ship Alice with this character called Harry. You know, the Mad Hatter's son, something like that. So yeah, I just had to admit, I kind of like that cute little friendship in the show. Although I am not going to ship them or anything like what you think I'm thinking, as in relationship sort of way. But I just wanted them to start by being friends at the moment. It's because since I'm new to this show, so yeah, something like that. So I just wanted to be careful of what I'm doing. So I always want to be careful anyway, because I don't want to jump to conclusions. No, would I? Oh boy. Oh, and yeah, same thing with Sunset Shimmer and Sideway. I kind of do the same thing for Applejack and Rarity, and also with Marinette and Zoe, and Julika and Rose from Miraculous Ladybug. Oh, and same thing for Alice and Rosa from Alice Wonderland Bakery. Yeah, so like that. Like I said, I'm support lesbians. And yeah, and I also seem to ship Rarity with Spike. But I also sometimes ship Spike with Twilight from time to time, but mainly with Rarity because we all obviously know that he has the biggest crush on Rarity since from season 1 until the very end of the season. Yeah, tell you why. All the seasons up from to 1 until to season 9. I kind of miss My Little Pony, so I still watch it no matter what. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I also see the ship Sophia and Hugo from Sophia the First. Well, I know, Hugo may be a jerk in season 1, but he is nice now because he changed it from season 2. And I'm glad he did. But and I know there'll be some people who probably seem to say, I wish Hugo didn't change. I mean, seriously? What's wrong with that? I mean, and besides, some characters who may be a jerk at first doesn't always mean well, so why don't we just give them a chance? Like Branch, for example, from the Trolls, because he can be a jerk from time to time during the Trolls film, but he doesn't really mean well for acting the way he did during the whole film. But he did come to his sense, and he does mean very well. And let's just say, I kind of like, Branch and Poppy's relationship during, well, friendship turning into a relationship in the film. Sort of thing. Oh, and yes, I kinda had to admit, but I also seem to like Bubbles with Boomer, Blossom with Rick, and Buttercup with Budge from the Powerpuff Girls. But I also seem to ship, well, Bubbles from the anime version of the Powerpuff Girls with this character named Cody. Yeah. I don't know if anyone may have heard of this show, but I have watched it since like 2012, I would say, because I was only a kid back then when I first watched the episode, and that's when I sort of started to like the sort of friendship because it's kind of cute. Although, because of the age gap, people just complain about it, so I'm not even that bothered. But yeah, I'm just saying that seeing a younger version of Bubbles and Cody in the episode 12 from season 1, they're so cute together. But I'm glad that they're both reunited or grown up in season 2, I think it was, in episode 37, I think it was. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking, yeah. And they also seem to share, now I got a quote, Rapunzel and Cassandra from Tangled series, although I do mainly ship Rapunzel with Eugene. So yeah, I can only just prefer Rapunzel with Eugene because I am a fan of Tangled anyway, so why not? I mean, I do like the film. Well, it's kind of obvious for me, of course, because I believe the film itself came out on my own birthday back in 2010. So I'm lucky enough that Tangled just made me feel more special. And I know you guys will probably think, okay, something like that, but I don't care. I mean, if I want to say it, I can say whatever I like. So that's the whole thing. Oh, and that's the same thing with the episode from, the Floating Palace wants to be the first. Because Ariel, yeah, that makes me special enough. Okay, forget about that. Stop talking about yourself here and Sparkle for 1 minute. Okay. And yes, I kinda also ship Kim Possible and Ron Unstoppable. Okay. I mean, their surnames can be a bit. Okay, I have to admit, it is kind of cute. But besides, Cam and Ron are bestest friends since the whole season. Season 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think. Yeah, that's it. Because I remember, I barely watched the whole TV show, but all I remembered that it has 4 seasons of the show. So yeah, that's how I remembered. And besides, they were like close friends since season 1 until they both started to become an actual thing at the very end of season 4. Yeah, adorable, isn't it? And besides, it can happen in reality as well. I mean, as in real life, because there are some few bestest friends in real life that can have that sort of thing. Well, mainly for, boys and girls together. But it can be the same thing for 2 girls and 2 boys. It kind of depends on the situation, Yeah, that's just saying. And besides, another thing with this age gap, and again, for Sportacus and Stephanie from Lazy Tail, and yeah, I had to say, not just because they because of the age gap and everything, because I have to admit, I do like the friendship to one another. And of course, I know there's loads of people complaining about that Sportacus is way too old. But, okay, fair enough. But I kind of agree with them sometimes because I don't usually ship a young kid with an adult. Like Sophia with Cedric from Sophia the First, for example. Okay, give me a break. I know, people can have different opinions, so yeah, don't get me wrong. But personally, for me, I don't ship Sophia with Cedric at all. I only ship her with Hugo, because they both are kids. And that's the thing. And besides, Sophia do see the good in some people. Yeah, tell me about it. And that's a good point on why I ship Sophia with Hugo for a reason, because she doesn't like Hugo at first, but she does now. So yeah. And I also want to say I also seem to ship Mal and Ben from Descendants. Oh, and Troy and Gabriella from High School Musical. Yeah. And speaking about Lazy Town, I only prefer Stephanie to be with Pixel since, well, it's kind of obvious for some fans of Lazy Town, and well, let's just say almost everyone who are seem to be a fan or just like Lazy Town or who just seem to watch it knows that Pixel has a sort of a crush on Stephanie. Yeah. Okay, just few more and I'll be gone. Well, I mean, I'll be finished as soon as I've done this. That's what I mean. Okay, and I also seem to ship Smurfette and Hefty from the Smurfs. Although I sometimes can ship Smurfette with Clumsy, but only in the live actions, if I have to be honest, because I remember at the time from the first film, I remember when Smurfette was really concerned for Clumsy, which tried to warn Clumsy to come back because he went the wrong way, while the others are trying to escape from Gargamel. Ugh, that creepy guy. Sheesh. So yeah, I kinda prefer Smurfette with Happy, because I just like the Lost Village film. Oh, and don't know if I already mentioned it. Didn't I just mention already about Belle and the Beast? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I kinda like Belle and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. So yeah, and there are also a few more characters that I also seem to ship together. Like some of the characters that I personally ship from this TV show I used to watch as a kid, still do from time to time, not all the time though. And it's called Grimm Classic Fairy Tales, and there are some few episodes with like different stories, like Cinderella, like Cinderella and the Prince from the episode Cinderella, and same thing for Maria and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, and there are some few more. Yeah, so believe me, these are the cows I currently ship as I grow up and that. Oh yeah, oh boy. Oh, I think I forgot to mention, I also kind of ship, Cinderella's stepsister Anastasia with this baker from Cinderella too. Yeah, sort of like that. Oh, I nearly forgot. Tinkerbell and Terence. Oh, can't forget that now, can I? I like their friendship, of course, and I just do hope it could be a thing, because I remember the user who has this sort of video about their thoughts on the actual film, The Lost Treasure, and why they like the film so much. And I have to agree with that person because they do have some good valuable points. So yeah, I kind of like The Lost Treasure because Tinkerbell and Terrence's friendship. Yeah, tell me about it. But not just because of them, but there are a few good other moments I also seem to like when Tinkerbell goes on to the adventure to save the day by using the moonstone, to something to do like one last wish from the magic mirror from the sunken ship that never sank. Oh, and speaking about the Little Mermaid, I can also ship Melody with this mermaid guy from the sequel. And well, they only just met, so we can always just ship them as friends, so why not? Oh, and nearly forgot Milan and Shang from Milan. Oh, I just like these two. Yeah, something like that. And there are some other characters that I didn't mention quite yet, actually, and they're not from animations or anything, because technically there are some few characters I do seem to ship from films that live action, like with real life people in it, so like that, playing the actual characters. Like Titanic, for example, because I can ship Rose and Jack. Well, I didn't like the film, well, love it, because, let's just say, believe me or not, because I believe Titanic, the film itself, well, it's not the only film to be, well, because there's another film about Titanic. I think it was in black and white, if I'm not mistaken, but the one I watched that has Rose and Jack in it, let's say all, well, there's two films I'm talking about here. Like, get to the facts. It's based on the actual real Titanic back in the early 90s, because hopefully you wouldn't believe if I ever tell you this, because uh, 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 my nan's dad, who was my great granddad, and his name was Jack, and let's just say he was either already have been born or before, just before he was born. The Titanic did actually happen while he was born at the time. Whether if he did born at the time or whether he wasn't there or anything, but born later. I don't know. I'm not really good at explaining straight anyway, so can't possibly blame me for that because of my some disability and that. So, like I said, I do sometimes get muddled up with my words. I'm just like Marinette here. Ugh, seriously. Oh, and speaking about Marinette, I do ship Marinette and Adrien together in Miraculous Ladybug, but I also seem to ship Marinette with Luca. Yeah. And same thing for Zoe or Kagami or something like that. Well, mostly with Adrien, of course, because we all know that, well, almost everyone who have been watching Miraculous recently and lately and that we all obviously knows that both Marinette and Adrien are both together now, officially together. But, oh yeah, and of course, I also ship Alvin and Brittany, Simon and Jeanette, and Theodore and Eleanor all together from Alvin and Chipmunks. Yeah, like, if you think about it, I do mainly prefer Simonette, as in Simon, Jeanette, like, put their names together, Simon, Net. Well, I don't mind Alvin and Brittany from time to time, although they do have a sort of like on and off sort of friendship and relationship. Okay, and Eleanor and Theodore, I kind of do like them as well. Same way as I like Simon and Jeanette. Yeah. And, oh yeah, Shrek and Fiona. Oh, how am I? I just hope Shrek 5 is coming out sometime because it is confirmed that Shrek is going to have a fifth movie. So excited. I just hope that Shrek and Fiona still together because we all know that Shrek and Fiona are in love with each other. And besides, we never know until the actual film will come out in the future. Oh, and just two more things I need to mention. Okay, so you probably may not also not going to expect this, but I also believe there's loads of fans of Harry Potter seem to be shipping Hermione Granger with Draco Malfoy just because of this thing in real life that the actors who play these characters from Harry Potter are both actually in love with each other. But don't get me wrong, because if I'm not mistaken, because I remember Emma Watson explained herself in the interview once saying about something to do with Tom Felton draw a picture of a girl on a skateboard. I mean, so she just obviously has a crush on him just because of that. So yeah, but I don't. If I also remember correctly, Tom didn't even know at the time that Emma has a thing for him, and that during this whole Harry Potter productions and filming and all that until like sometimes after the last film or maybe before the last two parts of the last film, if you know what I mean. Because I remember something that Tom's saying that he was really worried about Emma when, this woman played this character called Bellatrix and she was like sort of biting Hermione on the arm, I think. I don't know. I don't want to go through the details because I don't want to disturb you guys, but if you wanted to see the actual film itself, you can always just watch it, and it's up to you if you want to watch it or not. So yeah, I just want everyone to please respect that Tom Felton and Emma both has a thing for one another in real life, and and, and we all obviously know that Hermione Granger doesn't like Draco anyway, because they both are sort of like enemies to one another in the Harry Potter series. But yeah. And besides, I can't possibly blame Emma for having a crush on Tom. This boy. Yeesh. I'd rather not mention it, okay? You know. Okay, anyway, just one more. And I promise you guys, I'll leave you guys to it. And yes. Well, well, okay, calm down. Whew, think positive, okay? I kind of ship, well, do I really have to admit it? Caitlin Sparkle and Bobby Beale for my own cartoon series called The Singledorf Girl? Yeah, okay. Good, good. Yeah, well, well, I'll just say you can't possibly blame me for having this sort of thing for this guy that I personally prefer to, who seemed to play Bobby Beale once before back in 2014 until he kind of left in 2016, but he kind of did came back sometime in 2017, and that was the last we saw him. Well, on EastEnders of course, but the last I saw him on the TV was 2018. Something to do with George Michael's story sort of thingy film. Yeah. Okay, so his name is Elliot Carrington, and he's the one I kind of prefer who seemed to play Bobby Beale from EastEnders at the time. And besides, don't know. I mean, come on, guys. Do I really need to explain myself here? Okay, so yeah. There's loads of reasons for why I wanted to ship Keenan Sparkle and Bobby Beale together, because let's just say it's not just because of me having a crush on Andy Accountant anyway, because I wanted to say that Keenan Sparkle and Bobby Beale will have some similar traits as some of the characters that we all know and love from other cartoons. If you know what I mean, of course. Yeah, tell me about it. Okay, alright. I just feel embarrassed already. So, like I keep saying, I'll leave you guys to it. And make sure you give a video a like and subscribe, and also the notification bell to receive my videos every day. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye everyone. Bye.